Anytime there's a new video game coming out, inevitably there will be leaks. It's just the way the world works, the way the cookie crumbles. Like Michael Jordan in his prime, you can't stop him, you can only hope to contain him. So what happens is, inevitably when these leaks do start making it into the public mainstream consciousness, studios do their best to kind of put the kibosh on it so not a ton of people see it, because obviously they don't want their product released before it was scheduled to, and they don't want it spoiled for potential customers because it might have an effect on their sales. So it ends up being a big song and dance every time there's a new game that comes out, and that's what's currently happening with Starfield. Starfield has been leaked by more than one person, but I want to focus on one that recently just got arrested for the way in which they were doing it, among other things. It has to be probably the dumbest leaking incident I've ever fucking seen. Now, of course, like I said, the video game industry is no stranger to leaks. Video games leak more than my ass after eating gluten. But this time, it's a very big title, probably one of the most hyped titles in a long time with Starfield. So this is one that they were really watching closely. And the most prominent leaker of Starfield went insano style on how they were leaking it. So not only did he release 45 minutes of gameplay footage from Starfield, he also came into possession of quite a few physical copies of the game itself. Allegedly, he had stolen like review copies of the game and tried to start selling those as well. And most comical of all with his plan here, his nefarious scheme, is that the footage he uploaded from Starfield, he posted onto his own real personal YouTube channel, which apparently had his real name attached to it. Which is, I mean, that's big brain, that's galaxy brain, hiding in plain sight, right under their nose. Surely they won't think that someone would be stupid enough to upload something like this on their real account. But as shocking as it is to say this out loud, somehow this plan didn't pan out super well. Usually when someone decides to break bad, go to the dark side here and leak something, especially something as high profile as Starfield, they go through laborious protocol, extensive safety measures are taken to ensure their identity is kept a secret. So it's hard to track them down because it is a crime. You can't do that. It's illegal. Most of the time they'll go through 12 different VPNs, buy a brand new laptop, put a piece of tape over the webcam, wear some rubber gloves really just in case, then upload a cell phone video onto a private Vimeo link, download that link 12 times to degrade the quality a bit and compress it a bit further, then upload that to a private, burner Twitter account, then download that video one more time, and then finally upload it on YouTube to a brand new burner account that's tied to like an anonymous 5-minute mail or something. Meanwhile, the leaker in this case, his name is Darren Harris, his plan was as simple as, I'll just go raw, no rubber. I'm just going to upload this to my personal channel. This will pop my shit off. Let's go. And so he did. Which is, that is a Sigma grind set maneuver right there. He said, you know what? Let's just get right into it. He also uploaded another video where he was just kind of talking about the game. He said, Todd Howard, no offense, but it's a good game. And then he posted tons and tons of proof that he had all of the games that he said he did. He started selling them on Mercari. And a handful of days later, Harris began shutting down his social media accounts. I'm assuming he had some kind of come to Jesus eureka moment where he realized, damn, this was a horrible idea. But it was already too late. The authorities got a search warrant for his house, and he was eventually booked with 2 misdemeanors, one for possession of marijuana and another for property theft worth $1,000 or less, and then a felony charge slapped on there for property theft of $2,500 to $10,000. He was also released on a $10,000 bond, but is scheduled to appear in court on September 8th. Also, he apparently said that he had purchased his copies of the games. I've gotta say, even if he did somehow purchase these copies of the game, it doesn't mean he can turn around and resell them before the scheduled release date. That's still not allowed. You still can't do that. You know what you can do though, and should do? Buy tickets to my first ever live event, which is happening September 8th, 9th, and 10th. We're adding a few new things to it, and I want to briefly talk about it. The biggest one is we're going to be filming a music video live, and you, the audience, can be in it. We'll be filming it on the 8th, 9th, and 10th, so in case you don't want to go to all 3 days or can't, whichever day you decide to go, you can still be in the music video if you want to. It's for one of our new songs, The Gentle Men, which is Troy and I's music project. We've released iconic bangers like 2019 Guy. I'm sure you all know. I don't need to go through our resume. We have an upcoming EP that we're releasing within the next couple months, and one of the music videos we thought it'd be really fun to film with all of you if you want to be in it. So we'll be doing that at this event. The bulk of the content is going to be like a really fun hype watch party for our Apex Legends team as they hopefully take home the World Championship. It's $25 for a ticket for whichever days you want to go, or $60 for all three. There's also a couple of other things we're going to be adding that I'll touch on a little bit closer to the event date. There's a little less than half of the tickets still available, so if any of this sounds like fun, and it should sound like fun if you're a rational, sane person who enjoys a good party, then definitely go to strazcenter.org and pick up some tickets now. I'll put a link in the description as well. Now back to the topic at hand. That kind of concludes the entire Starfield leaking saga here. But that's not where I want to stop the discussion, because I did look at a little bit of the leaked footage just out of pure curiosity. I've been cautiously optimistic for Starfield ever since they showed the most recent gameplay showcase. I thought it looked extremely impressive and really fun. A lot better than I expected it to. But that leaked footage, partner, hooey, I tell you what. That was a bit rough. That put some vegetables on a spoon and said, "Open wide, Charles, here comes the choo-choo train," and I wasn't ready for those vegetables. I've gone right back to being a little nervous for the full release of Starfield, not living up to all the hype. I'm starting to question the old Todd the God Howard here on the direction of Starfield and how it's going to actually turn out. I don't want to actually spoil any of this for you. Hopefully you haven't, had your whole experience ruined or anything by people spoiling it for you or anything like that. All of the footage and all of the leaks have been reposted millions of times, so it's a very hard thing to avoid if you're trying to. So I'm not going to make it even more difficult. I will just say, one of the biggest disappointing things I saw was how completely barren a lot of it looked, which was one of my biggest concerns with the game when everything was first announced about it. But the gameplay showcase massaged it a bit and made me believe that it wouldn't just be procedurally generated nothingness, because that's super boring. Just aimlessly wandering a soulless, empty, dead world, a barren wasteland. There's nothing enjoyable about being able to explore a ton of empty, substanceless planets. Just walking by some rocks, oh, yeehaw, woohoo. I was really worried that that might be the case. I then wasn't as worried after the gameplay showcase. Now after the leaks, I'm worried again, because some of the shit they showed looked more empty than a Burger King. It's a bit alarming. Now, pardon me while I still huff a bit of hopium here. I'm still fingers crossed that this won't be representative of how the actual Starfield experience goes. I'm hoping it won't just be wandering completely empty nothingness. I'm hoping that this was just an isolated incident here, and this won't be what my playthrough looks like. There were a few other features, we'll use for lack of a better term, that players aren't super excited for that came out from these leaks. So overall, a lot of people just had their expectations lowered a little bit here on the Starfield hype. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this whole situation here. That's really about it. So yeah.